We open on this newlywed couple, Portia and Nash. Love those names, by the way. Anyway, they've just checked into their honeymoon suite, which is in a basement for some reason.
Turns out, he's got a friend who just so happens to have a factory that he is turning into a honeymoon resort.
A factory? I hate bugs.
Boy, are you in the wrong episode. Anyway, it's a new place that's still being worked on.
It's what they call a showroom demo.
So it's not great, but they get some nice champagne out of it.
It seemed a little run down for a honeymoon resort.
It's atmosphere, sugar. This is the Big Apple. This is high society, life in the fast lane. Tell you, these local sophisticated types would pay top dollar for something like this.
Yeah, I'm sure rundown hotels are what they're into. Though it looks like there were clothes and other belongings left behind by previous guests, which is a little weird.
Ever since I was a little girl, I've always dreamed of spending my wedding night in a big, pink, billowy silk bed shaped like a swan.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that.
Let me tell you something, sugar. This is going to be a night you won't soon forget.
So they go into the bedroom, which has an odd-looking hammock instead of a bed.
This looks like a web.
Yeah, one look at that and I would have noped right on out of there.
It's a hammock. I ain't never seen a wall-to-wall hammock before.
Is that another elevator? In the bedroom?
I told you this used to be a factory. Probably a loading dock or something. Woo-hoo!
Oh, Nash, you are so dumb.
Stuck.
Nash, I really think we should get out of here.
Yeah, Portia knows where this is going to.
Now, I tell you, I don't mind a challenge. I mean, all I got to do is...
Silk.
I kind of like the dynamic these two have. He's dumb and reckless, while she's smart and cautious. She's even really gentle about it, so we won't panic.
Nash, maybe you ought to climb up off of there anyway, okay?
Oh, sure. No problem. Ow!
So he's really stuck, so he tries to get out of his clothes.
It's gonna be great. Houdini escape! Ah! Ha! Must be jet lag.
She goes for help, but...
Right, ask the exterminator what he's got for a giant spider.
Yeah, that was probably supposed to be a joke, but... yeah, it's definitely not funny anymore.
We're trapped.
Portia, we are not trapped. Okay, now I am just a little detained here.
The phone is also dead, obviously.
There is no big spider, and this isn't a big web.
What is it then?
Some fancy love hammock or something that they thought would appeal to newlyweds.
Conveniently, she's a teacher, and one of her students did a report on spiders.
The cross-webbing is the sticky part. The spiders use the long strands to walk on, so they won't get stuck themselves.
For a spider to make something this big, you have to be the size of a Volkswagen.
Portia notices that one of the web fibers stretches all the way to the elevator.
I think he's waiting for me to get in there, too.
Here I go!
Portia hits the panic button for a minute and then starts thinking about how to get him out. Maybe cut the web somehow, but she doesn't have anything sharp on her.
What are we gonna do?
Finally, she remembers the bottle that he dropped and thinks he can use the broken glass to cut the web. But he basically can't move, so she's gonna have to do it.
I am going to find that travel agent, and I am going to tell him what a screwy place his...
Nash, that travel agent is the one who put us here.
Poor Nash is now realizing just how badly he fucked up.
Well, I guess you get what you pay for. Like my daddy used to say, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is.
Portia takes off her wedding gown and spreads it onto the web so she can climb on it without getting stuck in it, which is really smart. Except that now both of them are on the web, and that's exactly what was supposed to happen. Nash is still in the land of denial and thinks the noises he's hearing are people outside the room.
Hey, we're down here!
Nash!
Now for a long, intense moment where she can't quite reach the glass, and they're both trying to be as still and quiet as possible.
There's no giant spider!
He's starting to lose it a little now.
You guys really got me, Earl! Bobby's at you too?
Nash.
And the elevator slides open. Oh god, this isn't gonna be good. She finally gets the glass and starts trying to cut Nash out of the web. Yeah, definitely cut faster. That's a big old nope for me. Nope. All of my nope. All the nopes I can give. Nope. Portia at least falls through onto the floor below to temporary safety, but it doesn't end well for Nash. On the upside, it looks like he got a much quicker death than he would have gotten in reality. He would have been paralyzed, wrapped up while still alive, and saved for later. At least here it looks like it killed him first. I don't care how much Eight-Legged Freaks was supposed to be funny, it fucked me up and made me hate spiders more than I did already. They really are horrible monsters, just on a small scale. She finds a button which causes the elevator to come down, but it seems reasonably content with Nash at the moment, but it is still keeping 6 eyes on her. But if she's careful enough, she just might get away. Fuck! She gets on the elevator safely, but she's got some webbing wrapped around her ankle, and as the elevator goes up, she starts to get dragged off of it. Better get that stuff off, that's one big ol' hungry piter. Oof, it's now under the elevator trying to get at her through the holes in the wall. So, you know what she has to do. Kick its butt, Portia. Do it for arachnophobes everywhere. Yuck.
If it looks too good to be true.
See, this is what you get for not buying the spider donut, dearie. I like this episode a lot. It's one of those that is simple but effective. I like that we got a smart protagonist who is at least genre savvy enough to be cautious at first, even if it takes a while for her to fully process what's going on, and I don't blame her. Meanwhile, Nash was dumb and reckless, but not a bad guy or anything. He wasn't quite likable enough for me to be sad when he died, but I wasn't rooting for his death either. I was totally rooting for Portia, though. She's a badass. I also liked the bittersweet ending this had. She survived, but at what cost? I feel like that's a perfect horror ending. Plot-wise, there are a whole lot of questions one could ask. Like, okay, obviously this couple, along with whoever came before them, were lured for the purpose of being fed to a giant spider. To what end, we don't know. I could see how Nash could be annoying. Did someone hate him so much that they wanted him and his wife to get eaten alive by a giant spider? Is that just how they deal with people they don't like? Or are they some kind of spider cult making sacrifices to their giant spider deity? Again, we don't know, which is fine. Like I've said before, this is a half-hour anthology, so they don't always have time to explain everything. Plus, it's from the point of view of one of the victims. Since she doesn't know what's going on, we don't either. Frankly, the mystery just adds to the horror. I also like the double meaning of the title. A bond of silk could be referring to their marriage involving a silk wedding dress, and or how the spider bonds its victims with its silk web. And this spider, holy shit, this thing is straight out of my nightmares. If you watch my videos, you probably already know that I'm terrified of spiders. Fuck! God damn it, spiders! And I find stop-motion animation unsettling in general. This thing is like a perfect storm of stuff that makes me want to hide under the bed. It's like this episode was custom-made to freak me out. The only thing that would have made it worse, like I said, is if it paralyzed its victims instead of killing them. With how Nash looks after the attack, I feel like he's supposed to be dead. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. This episode was written by Michael Kimball, who also wrote Rain Dance. This episode was definitely better than that one, and has one more episode coming. It was directed by Ernest Farino, who mostly does visual effects and also directed Mannequins of Horror. He's got 2 more episodes coming, so it'll be interesting to see if those are as good as the first 2 he did. Portia was played by Linda Cornell, who, if you're old enough, you might remember as Sarah, the younger daughter in Too Close for Comfort. Funnily enough, the lady who played the older sister, Jackie, is going to show up in a later episode of Monsters. Nash was played by Mark McClure, who was also Jimmy Olsen in those old Superman movies. So, a very small cast, but an interesting one. That's about all I have to say about this one. Great episode, but thank God it's over. Next up is Rerun. See you then.
You see, it's just you, me, and Mr. Happy.
Oh, no.
Looks like I left someone out.